In this lesson based on statistics, which is targeted at students at level 4, pupils will be undertaking two different tasks. Firstly, to engage students in the lesson, pupils will work in pairs and complete a card matching game, which requires them to work cooperatively and match a survey question with the most appropriate tally results and data display. This diagnostic activity not only serves to assist the educator in uncovering students' prior knowledge regarding data and statistics, but has additionally been shown to improve memory power and cognitive skills. Following on from the diagnostic activity, pupils will then engage with an online interactive task called the Data Bank Research Company. Here, students will have the opportunity to dissect and interpret predetermined numerical data through methods of gathering and organizing, in addition to displaying the data into an appropriate graph. Moreover, students will also be presented with a variety of questions that will test their understanding of the data that was collected and recorded. Through completing these activities, students will have strengthened their sorting, classifying, and identification skills, all of which are necessary for effective learning in the area of statistics. As previously mentioned, this activity has been developed in accordance with Level 4 of the Australian curriculum, with connections to the Strand of Statistics. In this domain of the mathematics curriculum, it is expected that students will be able to select appropriate methods to collect data, develop appropriate data displays with or without the use of technology, and interpret their data by answering a variety of evaluative questions. Specifically, this lesson fulfills all three content descriptors, which are featured in the sub-strand data representation and interpretation. By successfully participating in this lesson, students will also fulfill the achievement standards that are specified in the curriculum, which suggests that pupils will be able to describe different methods for data collection and representation and evaluate their effectiveness, whilst also being able to construct data displays from given or collected data. In saying this, some consideration should take place regarding students' current working levels, which may be reflected on to differentiate the learning content to each pupil's needs. Thus, students may be working below, at, or above the Level 4 standard. Situated here are the learning intentions and success criteria for the lesson. When students are exposed to these two elements, they will have a greater purpose for learning. One theory of learning that will be implemented in this lesson is that of social constructivism. In this theory, Vygotsky contended that the process of learning should be a collective process and involve social discourse, explanation, evaluation, and reflection. The developed card matching game complements this theory, as students will need to work cooperatively with each other, whilst also explaining the reasoning for their decisions in matching a trio of cards based on the survey question, tally results, and data display. Furthermore, the development of these activities complements the GAZE framework for K-12 statistics education. In this framework, statistical problem solving is an investigative process that involves 4 components. These 4 stages will connect with the Data Bank Research Company activity, as students will have to survey participants based on the formulation of a question, collect data either through a line plot or tally chart, analyze the data through the development of a bar graph, and finally interpret the results through responding to a set of guided questions. When working in the area of statistics, students encounter a variety of difficulties and misconceptions. They include the failure to distinguish between the X and Y axes on a bar chart, finding the use of tally marks confusing, failing to understand that scales need to be equal in their intervals, and failing to label the relevant titles necessary for a bar chart. Regarding these misconceptions, the interactive activity titled the Data Bank Research Company aims to rectify them. In the task, students will be able to learn about tally marks by tabulating the data that they discovered. Here, with every click of the mouse button, one tally mark will be inscribed in the tally chart. Furthermore, students will also develop an awareness of all the labels that are necessary for a bar chart, by being required to click and drag the bar graph scale and various titles into their correct location. Additionally, by reviewing the bar graph, students will also come to the realization that the scale utilizes equal intervals. When implementing this lesson, the needs of students below, at, and beyond Level 4 will need to be catered to. For students operating below the Year 4 working level, it may be appropriate to utilize physical items such as Unifix blocks to correctly organize the data prior to showing the same data in the format of a bar chart. By using these blocks, students will be able to correctly count the data that belongs to each category. As a team, they can then use this data in the online activity. For students operating at the Year 4 working level, pupils will work in pairs to organise the data. However, when answering the guided questions, they will then work independently. For students operating above the Year 4 working level, pupils will work individually, and when organising the data in the online activity, they will only be able to use the tally chart option, as this method of data collection is quite confusing for students operating at the Level 4 standard.
In this game, students will have to match a survey question with its associated tally chart and bar chart. This survey question states what is the most popular AFL team in the class. Now we'll need to find its associated tally chart. This tally chart lists a variety of sports, while this chart lists a variety of teams that students support. So this tally chart will match our survey question. Now we'll need to find a bar chart that supports our tally chart. This tally chart is listing a variety of sports that students play, and consequently this does not match our survey question or tally chart, while this bar chart shows teams that students support. So this matches our survey question and tally chart. And that's our trio.